New this morning, Congressman Jamie Raskin says a whistleblower has come forward claiming that Jeffrey Epstein's convicted co-conspirator Ghislaine Maxwell is preparing to ask President Trump to commute her 20-year prison sentence. The whistleblower also claims that Maxwell is getting special treatment in prison, including customized meals, a puppy to play with, and after-hour gym time. CNN has not been able to independently verify the whistleblower's claims. In a scathing letter to President Trump, Raskin is demanding that Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche appear publicly before the House Judiciary Committee to, quote, answer for this corrupt misuse of law enforcement resources and potential exchange of favors for false testimony exonerating you and other Epstein accomplices. Raskin adding, the documents and information received over the last several days indicate that under the warden, law enforcement staff have been, quote, waiting on Miss Maxwell, hand and foot. Here is Congressman Raskin last night speaking with our Caitlin Collins.
She gets essentially room service behind bars. She can use the shower. She can use the gym whenever she wants to. She's actually getting messages sent through the warden to the people that she wants to communicate with, and the warden is actually offering her the opportunity to communicate on legal matters with people outside of the prison.
Joining me now, family members of one of Epstein's victims, Virginia Giuffre, before her death in April. She wrote a book documenting what she endured and had dedicated herself to helping abuse survivors. Sky Roberts is Virginia Giuffre's brother, and Amanda Roberts is her sister-in-law. Thank you both for being here. I just have to get your thoughts on what you are hearing from Jamie Raskin about this whistleblower who is saying that she is receiving all kinds of special treatment now in the facility that she's in.
I think it makes us angry. I do want to praise Raskin and the whistleblower for coming forward and exposing what's really happening. I think we have to remember as constituents, this is what our tax dollars is funding. We are funding a child sex trafficker to be in a prison that she does not belong in. She belongs in a maximum security prison. Our tax dollars are waiting on her hand and foot, and it's quite shameful. It makes us angry. It's a slap in the face to every single survivor who came forward. And why is this happening? Why is this happening? We still don't understand why she's there. We were never given any answers as to why she was moved, what happened during those conversations with her. It just all still seems like an extreme cover-up. And it's scary to think that she may be on the doorsteps to freedom.
Sky, I'm curious what you think of the fact that the initial fury over the Epstein files not being released somehow resulted in Ghislaine Maxwell being moved to a more comfortable setting. Why do you think that is?
I think we really have to start questioning. That's an amazing question, because that's exactly what we need to be questioning, is why is she being moved to a minimum security prison after giving testimony in front of Todd Blanche? He should be summoned. He should be held to account to answer for those questions. It's simple. I think that we've prioritized putting power and money over survivors, and you know, when is the government going to start helping them out? I mean, my sister would say it often, like, hey, you know, guys, we could use a little bit of a hand here. You know, we're carrying a lot of weight in terms of the names and the burden to come forward publicly and continue to talk about this. Like, help us out. You've only released 1% of the documents. So I think it's quite shameful. I mean, she doesn't deserve to be playing with puppies in prison and getting chef meals basically prepared for her and sent to her dorm. That's not what we should be doing to a convicted sex trafficking offender. I can tell you that. She was an active participant and physically abused many of these survivors, including my sister.
Yeah, I mean, a jury said so, and she is now supposed to be paying for her crimes. President Trump was asked whether he's thinking about pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell. I know you've heard this a while ago. He did not rule it out. What is your message to him this morning?
I think if King Charles can strip Andrew of the prince title over just affiliations, over leaked emails, why is our president not definitively ruling out a convicted sex trafficker of minors, of children? Why is our president not standing up boldly and saying, I'm sorry, but no, this is the line in the sand. This is not a party issue. This is a human issue that every single person can agree on. There is no gray area here, and there is nothing that she could offer. There's no truths that she will tell that should allow her any peace for the rest of her life.
She certainly had a chance in court to talk, to tell her truth, as you said, and now she is a convicted felon. I do want to ask if you have any hope that any of the other people guilty of raping girls who were caught up in Maxwell and Epstein's web will be brought to justice at any point in time, or even exposed.
I think we have to have that hope moving forward. We have to have the hope that our government is going to do the right thing, that President Trump will hold to his promise of releasing all of the Epstein files and the documents. To date, we have 1%. He's on track to get 4% of them released by the end of his term. It's pretty low statistics in terms of what he ran on. I want to have hope. I think Andrew was a start. I mean, the fact that there's acknowledgement there for survivors to say, you know what, King Charles said, we stand with survivors. The heinous things that they went through. I want to see our own government do that. They're safe keeping these documents in this little, I'll call it a Pandora box that needs to be released. It's shameful that the survivors have to continue to bear this, and we need our government to help us. Please help us carry this burden forward so that we can hold these people to account. I have faith. I still have faith that they can do it.
Amanda and Sky Roberts, thank you both. I know it's always hard going through this, but thank you for taking the time to talk with me this morning. I do appreciate it.